This video explains the diagram for a business in perfect competition. So in order to draw our diagram, we need a number of characteristics that are true of a perfectly competitive market. The first is that there are many small firms. So there aren't any large firms or dominant firms in this market. Instead, lots and lots of small firms who have very little market power. And each of these small firms sells a homogeneous product. That word homogeneous means the same, so there's no branding. Each business is selling an identical product. There's also perfect knowledge. What that means is each business knows everything else about every other business in the market. What that means in practice is if any business in the industry comes up with a new idea that lowers their cost of production, the other businesses can copy it and therefore lower their cost of production too. That means that each business in this industry will have the same cost curves. We assume there's no barriers to entry or to exit, so nothing stops a potential firm from joining this market, and nothing stops an incumbent firm from leaving the market if they want to. And we finally assume that buyers and sellers are price takers. We can show that diagrammatically. The idea that buyers and sellers are price takers comes about because each business in this market is so small that it can't change their level of supply by enough to change the overall level of supply in the market. That means that the equilibrium price in the market, which is shown by the diagram on the left, is the price that each business has to take. Because it's so small, it has no control over the price that it can charge. And so it will charge price P. The way we show that is a horizontal demand curve drawn like this. Anywhere on that demand curve, the business is charging price P, showing the firm is a price taker who has no control over the price. We label our curve D equals AR equals MR, which stands for demand equals average revenue equals marginal revenue, because in this specific case, when the demand curve is horizontal, all three of those things are equal. From here, we can draw the full diagram, starting with a business under perfect competition making a short-run supernormal profit. So we start with our demand curve equals average revenue equals marginal revenue, and we can label on price P, because we know the firm's a price taker, so it has to charge price P. We then draw on our cost curve, so average cost is a U-shaped curve, and marginal cost is a tick-shaped curve, which cuts AC at the lowest point. These curves have the shape because of the law of diminishing marginal productivity, which means that as we produce more, our cost of production will start to increase, shown by the upward sloping marginal cost curve. We assume the firm's a profit maximizer, and that means it will produce where MC equals MR, which is quantity Q. At quantity Q, we know the price is P, and we can find the cost by finding where our dotted line from Q intersects our AC curve, giving us cost C, and therefore this area here is our supernormal profit, the difference between price and cost for quantity Q. It's also possible that a firm under perfect competition can make a loss in the short run. We draw that in a similar way. We start with our horizontal demand curve equals average revenue equals marginal revenue, but this time we draw our average cost curve above that demand curve. It has the same shape with the same MC curve that cuts AC at the lowest point. But now, when we profit maximize, we produce where MC equals MR, giving us quantity Q, our price is P, and to find C, we have to continue the dotted line along to the AC curve and across to find C. That means that we're going to make a loss, this area here, the cost minus the price for quantity Q. Therefore, when we say we're profit maximizing, what we're really doing is minimizing our loss. This is the point at which we make the lowest possible loss. So in the short run, a business under perfect competition can make a supernormal profit, or it can make a loss. What we'll see in the next video is that in the long run, neither of those things are possible.